One of the things that is most interesting to me about analyzing entertainment, news, culture each and every day is that you're not just taking it in passively, you're reading it, looking at it on the internet constantly, all the time. And you get this distorted perception of how fast the world moves. And it can be a problem, at least for me specifically, because what it is that you think the world is changing at a faster pace than it is at certain points. But then at other times, it feels like, look, all I'm doing is reading about things that are going wrong. All I'm reading about, for instance, like right now, I'm talking a lot about Captain America 4 and all of the production problems on it. And we're 3 months out from the release of the movie, but principal photography was ages ago. Time gets distorted because of how much time you spent on one piece of information, one subject matter. Same is true, I think, in entertainment and politics, because these days we're attached to our phones and we get so much information so frequently that it distorts our perception of time. And very rarely do you get these ideas about specific incidents that might signal a larger change in the culture. And to me, in my opinion, the grandiose idea of this is that it's something that doesn't seem to be perceptible in that way, where you wouldn't think of it as a shift in the culture, but in your own mind it is. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here when I was reading this article. This feels like a very big shift in the culture to me, however small it may seem. And what it is it says, Village People singer defends Donald Trump using YMCA. The quote was, "I thank him for choosing to use my song." Look, you can already picture seeing Trump doing the Trump dance right now. Not just as an aside, I did see the video of like the family members around a table doing the Trump dance, and that was too much for me. That was too much for me. But the point being, guys, is that small events signal a change in the culture. And one of the things that I find most interesting about this is all it takes is one person standing up. And in a lot of ways, it's for their own benefit, because they're making money off of it, because it tells you that, look, I am choosing my own financial future over virtue signaling. I don't give a crap if this person likes Trump, doesn't like Trump. I have my own critiques of the guy. Everyone should. You should not deify any celebrity nor any politician. But the idea has been for so long that even if it was to benefit you financially, due to the social pressures from everyone, you had to speak out against it. And if you think I'm being hyperbolic, I'm not. I'm not even kidding you when I tell you that there is a Wikipedia page just for musicians who oppose Trump using their music. Not even kidding you. It's in alphabetical order. Everyone from ABBA and Aerosmith, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Bruce Springsteen, that one's no surprise, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Eddie Grant, Elton John, Everlast, Foo Fighters, Free, George Harrison, and the list goes on and on. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because there was a very specific example that was just hilarious to me. Back in 2020, there was this video that got made that was like, it was during the re-election bid. It was called Save Trump, or Re-elect Trump, Save the World, something like that. And whatever you think about it, it's still all of these things that feel like weird political propaganda, because they are in a lot of respects. But I thought that the edit, which just looked like it was done by a fan or a friend of somebody, it was done really, really well. And it was to this song called Beast by Nico Vega and Vice Tone. It's like a remix of the song. And I loved that remix. I loved that song. And then I laughed because I'm like, oh, that's really, really cool. And then, of course, didn't even realize, yes, of course, they said you can't use that song. It's not for you. So what I'm saying right here, guys, is that when popular artists and songs and music and entertainment that are relevant in popular culture are finally allowed to just exist in this sphere without the artists having to issue some type of formal statement, I think that we're getting closer to where we need to be. Granted, this is a formal statement, but it's one in which they say, look, it was beneficial for me. So let's go through it a little bit. It says, in a post on Facebook, Victor Willis revealed that since 2020, he's gotten over 1,000 complaints regarding Trump's usage of the iconic YMCA tune. You're all thinking about it right now. All of the times in which that song has been played and the Trump dance has been done. He says he decided to ask Trump to stop using the song because it had become a nuisance to him. Willis highlighted the good things that have come from Trump's usage of the song, such as the song's reaching #1 on the Billboard chart. Again, song is very, very old. Okay, this is not a current song, yet somehow the power of Trump was able to bring that song back to the forefront. I would love to see more artists be willing to just let it happen and ride the wave that comes from it. But the problem is because politics has become so polarizing, so hyperbolic, that nothing can just be something that's fun in the moment where everyone lives and enjoys it. Everything has to be some grandiose statement on a larger level. It can't be that a guy that got voted in as president used my song. It's that a fascist used my song, and I have to speak out against fascism lest I be criticized by everyone, on the internet, and risk losing my label or people not showing up to my concerts. So I think it's been proven time and time again that if you refuse to apologize, most of the time, those that truly love your work will stick with you, and those that may not have liked your work or known your work beforehand will respect your ability to stand on your values and keep going. So he says, to the Village People, fans and media, Willis wrote, I am the singer and the writer for the lyrics of YMCA. In fact, as it was adjudicated and ruled in the U.S. District Court, I wrote 100% of the lyrics, and my partner, Jacques Morali, wrote the music. And that's why he gets into talking about how the song had been incorrectly labeled as a gay anthem, and there's a whole thing about that. But I think the most interesting thing about this is we are seeing these microscopic shifts in the culture that all add up to a very, very different world than we saw in 2016 when Trump was elected the first time. Because, look, I think at the end of the day, you can't deny the guy. Whatever you think about his policies, whatever you think about his portrayal in the media, he was a media darling before he ever became president, and he is very clearly, in my opinion, as great of a businessman as he may be, as great as I think he can be in office. I think at heart he's an entertainer, and I think that innate desire for him wins out in the end, and people have learned to start to re-embrace it again. Certainly we saw, there's been the rise of athletes, doing the Trump dance and all that stuff. All of that kind of harkens back to MMA, which was really the first organization that it felt unapologetically did it and never felt the need to apologize, because the fans aren't going to have an issue with it, because either they support him or you accept the fact that, look, what are you going to do? You're going to tell some, an MMA fighter, you can tell John Jones that he can't do the Trump dance, because if you do, you're going to get knocked out, right? So I just laugh because a big part of it for me, like I said, it's looking at endless events, endless news, endless actors virtue signaling, which is something that I've come to watch a lot of content about again, and I forget sometimes just the sheer amount of virtue signaling that has been done in Hollywood, and you almost feel better for it. I actually came across, do you guys remember the cringe compilation of Hollywood celebrities singing Imagine? I saw that the other day, and I was like, look, we live in a very different world from 2020. We don't live in the world of 2016 anymore. Hollywood, in a lot of ways, seems to have to come around now purely for financial stake, for financial reasons. They have to learn to appeal to the mass audience again. They can no longer make movies and TV for niche subject matter because, look, it's not being subsidized the way that it was before. Disney had a great year at the box office this year. Moana 2 has been hugely successful. Inside Out 2 was hugely successful. Biggest movie of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine. And a common denominator in all that is they had great mass appeal. But in years prior, in the last couple of years especially, they haven't had those movies that have been able to subsidize the work that's been used to virtue signal for everybody. So in a lot of ways, I think an event like this is something as simple as the singer, the performer of a decades-old song coming out and saying, look, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna say, go ahead. It's been good for me. It's been good for my family. I think that signals a shift in the culture. I would be interested to know what you guys think. Is it, am I just kind of overthinking it because I spend all day looking at the news and all this stuff, so I kind of yearn for some type of moment in time that signals these things? Or if you do agree with me, if you think it was a different moment in time, what were those moments for you where you felt the culture truly started to shift somewhere. Maybe you feel that the Overton window has started to shift back the other direction, or that the media no longer has the ability to control reality in a way that has shifted everyone's perspective. What was that moment in time, that action for you that signaled that shift?
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.